Oh boy, I knew this was a bad idea. And that's a pretty big fish. There's like 6 other fish swimming around.
In this video, I took a mid-March trip to north central PA to target wild brown trout. We got a break in what seemed like 2 straight weeks of extremely high winds, so I took the day off work, loaded up my gear, and headed north. I left just before first light and didn't arrive at the stream until about 8:30 in the morning. They were calling for temps in the low 20s the night before, so I figured I would give it a chance to warm up rather than hitting the stream at sunrise. It was 22 degrees when I left my house, and only 27 when I reached my destination an hour and a half later, but it warmed up pretty quick. Stick around as I zeroed in for some beautiful wild trout and discuss how I approach the stream. Now, let's hit the water.
There we go. First fish on. A little bit of slower pool here. Not a bad fish. The net's a little tangled up here. There we got the net. Come on in, fish. Go on, buddy. All right. He took the Frenchie. Beautiful dark fish, red spots, just gorgeous. There we go. That's a nice fish. Oh boy, keep him down out of there. There's just a... Come on, buddy. Don't get under that rock. Oh, there he popped off. Popped off. That was just a fish. I hit this section first. There's not a lot of water over there, but there's no current. And that's just a good spot for them to lay right now when it's cold. They don't have to waste any energy. I just flicked one out there and he hit it pretty quick. I reached for my net and it popped off its string. So I'm gonna go back to the bank and fix that. So I was just looking at this string last night. It's pretty ratty. I figured it would rip at some point soon. I'm planning to stop at Fly Shop today and check out a new net. I just want a different style net. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to rig this up somehow, tie a knot in it, and hope it can last me at least throughout today. That was a perfect run for a fish to be in, and there one was. Just a little fella. Once again on the Frenchie. Already popped off of there. Okay, of all the water I fished today, this looks like a pretty prime lie. I'm gonna start down here because it's softer current along the bank. Maybe I can pick one up down below. But up here, looks like a great spot. So I'm expecting to get into a fish.
I always start at the bottom of a run like this and work my way up. Even though the top of the run looked like the best spot, I started down below. Sometimes you will hook a fish in the bottom of a run and pull it out into the current without swooping the fish upstream. But if you start at the top and hook a fish, it will likely scare any fish in the lower part of the run. There were no takers at the bottom here, but it's still a good idea to work the runs this way.
There you go. Right on cue. Hey, missed him with my net. Come on, buddy. Float back here, would you? There we go. Just another little fish. But we take those. We absolutely take those. There we go. I knew there had to be one back there somewhere in that slower current. And finally took it. There's made quite a few drifts through there. It's holding pretty close to the bank. Not a bad little fish. Hopefully we can get this one to the net. The last couple I've lost before I netted them. Hopefully that changes here. Be a little more careful with them. There we go. Beautiful little fish. I'm fishing a 2 Frenchy rig right now. One pink one, one blue one. Certainly not a real big fish. Ooh, that's a good fish. I think that's a good fish. I don't know how well I have him hooked. Maybe I have him snagged, I don't know, but it feels like a good fish. I didn't hook anything down here in this deeper part of the run, but it shallows out up here, and that's where he took. It's a nice fish. Can't tell if he's coming in sideways or not. My net's in a different spot now. It's weird to handle for me. All right, fish. You should be good and tired. Come on, buddy. You don't want to quit just yet. All right. That's a dandy. There we go. He's still on there? Yeah, he is. Okay. There's not a whole lot of water here. So I went for lunch, and originally my plan was to go somewhere else, but it got a little later in the day than I'd hoped. So I came right back where I left off, and the creek kind of splits right down here. So I'm following what looks to be the main channel. And there's a little bit of a pocket right there. That's where this little fellow was hanging out. Easy, buddy. All right.
Here's a look at exactly where that last fish was. You can see this bit of a rock ledge giving the water some character here, but this portion is the only spot where that ledge really creates a break in the current. Even though it's shallow, that's the perfect spot for a fish to feed, and that's exactly where he was. This is a spot I wasn't even sure I should drop my flies into. It was probably 4 to 5 feet at its deepest, and I figured the log jam had to hold a fish, but I knew I would likely be in trouble if one took. But ever since the creek had split, the fishing had been pretty slow, so I didn't want to pass up a chance at a fish. I dropped my nymphs in, and this is how it played out.
Oh boy, I knew this was a bad idea. And that's a pretty big fish. There's like 6 other fish swimming around. Oh man, no way he doesn't break me off. I'm not even sure how to do this because it is freaking deep in there. Oh, you should see all the fish swimming around right now. Let's see. Try and bring him up over this log, maybe. My root rot tip is in tree. Shoot. I don't know, man. It's a healthy fish, though. Oh, that's a chunky fish. I cannot believe that worked. It all worked out in the end. That is built like a stock trout. Wow. Whoa, little fella. High energy little fella. I was hoping there'd be one in this pool. It's kind of been slow. I mean, it's been slow all day, but I always wonder when the creek breaks into channels like this, you know, if they really hold fish. Sometimes I'm sure they do. Other times, like after low water, they probably kind of aren't in here. But I don't know. Caught a couple now out of these channels. There we go. Oh, that's got a beautiful belly on him. I just moved spots here. It's probably my last stop before calling it a day. This is a really deep run. I could hear a fish rising from my truck, so I was just kind of hanging out here. Made a bunch of drifts in a row, waiting to see if it would rise again up here. But we'll take one. Sticking down in that deep water. Not a real big fish, but not a bad one either. I'm just letting him play himself out. And once he's ready to come up to the top, we'll pull him in. I'm still fishing my double Frenchie rig. I was fishing a regular olive waltz worm earlier, and each fish had taken the Frenchie, so I switched to 2 attractor patterns. And yeah, he took the blue Frenchie. Pretty much most of the flies have been on the dropper fly today. When the pink Frenchie was my dropper fly, they were taking that. Now my pink Frenchie is my point fly, and they're taking the blue Frenchie up top. So that's going to be a day for me here. It's about 5 o'clock now. Just kind of taking a seat, drinking some water here. Awesome water bottle. Love it. Drink from any creek you want. Yeah, I caught, I don't know, 8 to 10 fish probably. Only lost a couple. Didn't have a whole lot of other takes besides the ones I caught. But it was a pretty fun day. I mean, for this time of year, mid-March, March 16th, I think it is. Can't complain. I caught some beautiful fish, a couple of small fish. That one fish was real fat. That was an awesome fish and a funny spot too. But it's definitely worth the day of vacation to just come out, get some fresh air, and explore this creek. It's really fascinating. It has a lot of character. Definitely one of the coolest creeks I've ever fished. I'd definitely like to come back sometime when the water's a little warmer. I saw those few fish rise. That's the only thing I would change about today. See if I could have got a fish or two on top. But yeah, the scenery is just great. The stream has a lot of gradients to it. There's some steep spots where the water's really flowing downhill. Then there's other spots where it's flat water, flat and deeper water, some deep pools. Just a really good mix, a really cool stream that I'm definitely going to spend some more time on in the future. So that's going to wrap this up. I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching this far. If you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button. There's going to be a lot more to come this year. I'm really looking forward to this spring fishing picking up here. So thanks for watching.